Hi, I'm Jason,
And I'm Laura.
and we took early retirement this year to live on our camper.
Yeah. So it has been a hot minute since we've done a video. We had an amazing visit with friends and family in Wisconsin the month of August. And then we hit the road again. We've been on the road for about a month. And we decided to take US Route Highway 2 across the United States. It's 2,500 miles. We're not doing all of it, but it runs from Maine to Washington. And we made a lot of interesting stops along the way. We went through Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and Washington, and saw a lot of the country. So North Dakota was the home of the geographic center of North America. So we made a stop there.
Classic road trip stop.
Yeah, couldn't miss it. And it was right on Highway 2. So got a must stop. And we got to stay in some really interesting teeny little towns in North Dakota. It was combining season in the grain belt. So very small towns, lots of farming equipment, and strangely a ton of road construction. Like stop on the highway for a long amount of time to wait until the light changed so you could go. So it was kind of crazy. One other amazing stop was the International Peace Garden. It's on the border of North Dakota and Canada, a joint venture between two countries. 2,400 acres of gardens. It was beautiful. Flowers. They had the most extensive succulent display I've ever seen. It was very, very cool. And Jason got to stand in two countries at once. We both did. It was a really great stop.
That was cool. It had a really cool memorial to fallen game wardens too. We had no idea that being a game warden was a dangerous job, but it is, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
So that after all those small towns and our road tripping through North Dakota, we were kind of traveling every day for that first part of Highway 2, and then we had some time to kill, so we slowed down and stopped at Theodore Roosevelt National Park. That was a cool stop. It's a kind of it's a Badlands area. It's kind of half Badlands, half plains and foothills. So that was cool. There were a lot of free range cattle that I think Laura liked. We were petting the free range calves, and so that was cool. We did some hiking, and we took a pretty sweet mountain bike ride on. They have a long distance trail. It's a 130-mile long mountain bike trail called the Matahay, and we did not do 126
No, we did not do
miles. 130 miles, but I think we rode like maybe 12 or 14 miles of the Matahay, and it was a good ride. So after Theodore Roosevelt, we moved on to Great Falls, Montana, which is a pretty cool town. It's a sort of it was a spot where Lewis and Clark spent like a month on their voyage. So there's a bunch of Lewis and Clark stuff there. So we did the Lewis and Clark Museum.
Learned so much about that. And I never really knew that much about the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
Very
In fact,
cool.
We're now listening to Undaunted Courage as an audiobook, which is it's a factual account of the Lewis and Clark voyage. Really interesting. And we also went to the C.M. Russell Museum. And if you don't know who that is, I didn't know who it was. Laura had heard of him. He's like he's the most iconic artist when it comes to Western art of the Western historical, like Western United States. And the museum was cool. I mean, his artwork was amazing. They had like not a reconstruction. They had his actual whole log cabin studio that he produced art in.
And I could just imagine his studio looked like the party spot. It was a social place, and it was fun to imagine people just popping in and out and socializing and hanging out while he was creating works of art that now are priceless.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. He apparently was never interested in selling his art until he got married, and then his wife took over the business end of things, and he actually became the most highly paid living artist in the world at the time, which was interesting.
Yeah.
So.
And then we kept heading west. So we made a stop outside of Helena and visited my college friend Paul and his wife Nikki. It was so great to see them. Thanks for the great visit, guys.
Yeah.
And they have a beautiful home in the mountains outside of Helena. And we just spent a nice Saturday with them. We strolled around the farmers market. We went for a wild side-by-side ride. Neither of us had ever been in one of those.
Never done that before. Laura's friend Paul likes to drive that thing about 65 miles an hour down four-wheel drive roads. It was fun.
It was fun. And we got to see a lot of the mountains that would have taken us days to hike to. So that was cool. And we finished out the day as all Generation Xers with Seinfeld and pizza. It was fun. After our time with Paul and Nikki, we headed north, mostly north, to Glacier National Park. And wow, Glacier was outstanding. It was absolutely amazing. Cool. We met my sisters there. We all stayed together in an Airbnb and just saw the park every day. Every day was better than the last. We drove going to the Sun Road, which is like the only road that you can drive through the park.
It's a quiet country drive with 6,000 other cars.
Yeah, it was kind of crowded, but the views were just incredible, absolutely incredible. We did a bunch of hiking. We enjoyed all the water, the lakes, crystal clear lakes and streams. It was just stunning. And we saw a lot of wildlife. The highlight definitely was the grizzly bear. We were on a hike, and about 20 yards off our trail was a grizzly munching on something. We're not sure what, but that was really cool.
It was cool. It was a little unnerving. He was very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting. It was neat.
We had bear spray.
Yeah, we had bear spray. We've never seen one up close or at all in real life before, so it was cool. And they are huge. It was a big freaking bear. The video doesn't really show it, but it was probably an 800-pound bear.
Yeah, it was huge.
So after Glacier, we moved on. We kept driving west, and we're right now in Washington. That's where we're sitting right now. We're in North Cascades Park. But when we left Glacier, we drove west into Washington. We stopped in Spokane first. That was a cool town. It was interesting. We just spent one day there just to see it. So they had some neat public art downtown and a cool bike trail that we checked out. And then from Spokane to where we are now, we drove the North Cascades Scenic Highway. And that was pretty sweet. That was worth it. There's a lot of, on the eastern side of that highway, there's a lot of cool, like small mountain towns like Winthrop and Mazam and a couple others. So we stopped and had lunch, spent a little time. And then the scenery, of course, was amazing. It's we drove over Washington Pass on the Scenic Highway, which is a high pass, checked out the overlook at the summit. Then we camped in North Cascades National Park, which is that's where we are right now. This is it. We've done some canoeing on one of there's a whole bunch of hydroelectric power plants in this area. So there's a ton of man-made lakes. So we went canoeing on one of the big ones, Ross Lake, and we did we climbed a peak yesterday, Trapper's Peak. That was pretty cool. It has a little class 3 scramble. So that was fun, interesting, amazing views from the top, as you would expect. Stunning. And now I think this is probably our last day here. We're getting ready to go on to Bellingham, Washington, probably tomorrow, where we are going to check out world-class mountain biking, or so we've been told.
Yeah. And the ocean is just ahead for us, the Pacific Ocean. So
we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.